Hello everybody, today we're setting up a new watercolor palette. I purchased this Wild Roses themed Van Gogh tin off Amazon. It comes with 20 full-size paint pans and magnets to stick on the bottom of each so it doesn't shift around. I am now going to put each of them in one by one, sticking the magnets on the back of the pans. Pretty. Now for the all-important shake test. And we're good, no shifting. Now we can fill it up with our paints. I purchased this Montmartre 2 Seasons watercolor set of 18 tubes from the $2 to $5 shop for $16. They are plastic tubes and none of them had a foil seal on the top as you'd expect from paints. I tried to write the colour for each of the paints onto the individual pan, but the marker I used kept wiping off. So in the end I resorted to just filling the paint pan and then writing it on later. I then went filling each pan with the different colours one by one. Some of the paints had a very thick consistency like toothpaste, and some of them were really watery, sort of gravy consistency, so they differed, and I'm guessing that's the pigments and the different fillers used. These are very cheap paints, but these are paints that, you know, are more for children and for craft. They're not student quality or artist quality paints, but they're a good beginning step, a good building block onto bigger and more expensive products once you get your eye in for watercolor paints. Something I didn't realise was a thing was metallic watercolour paints. This set actually came with a metallic gold and a metallic silver, which is exciting, but when you water it down it's kind of grainy and the metallic pigments sort of separate out. I went through with my palette knife and I mixed each paint to smooth over the top and to combine them, because there was separating from the binding agent and the pigments. Some of the tubes had separated. This olive green colour was really runny. Once everything was mixed, I then popped it up on the windowsill to dry overnight, with every intention of coming back to it the next day. Five days later, I finally came back to it. And as you can see, some of the paints cracked and some of the paints hadn't, and the magnets had come off the bottom of the paint pans. So I began the process of removing all of the paint pans and the magnets from the bottom, and then putting a glue dot between each magnet and the bottom of the paint pan to put them back together and back into the palette's tin so that they wouldn't shift around again. If there's anything else that you guys want to see me do with art and creativity, leave a comment. We get very few comments on our videos, but it's always nice to hear from you, and it's always nice to know what you think and what you want to see, because you know, the more you comment, the more you engage with our videos, the more the great algorithm overlords will recommend us to other people, and we're all about pleasing our overlords. I've got these self-adhesive little labels which I'm writing the names of all of the paints on, and I'm going to stick it on the side of each paint pan, so if one runs out quicker than another, I can easily refill it with the correct colour. Here we go, all back together. Now for the all-important shake test. Whack it hard. No shifting. We are good to go. Now it's time for some paint swatches to see how these colours actually perform on paper and how they look and how they differ from in the pan. Something I discovered while I was swatching all of these paints is that they are no way near as vibrant as they are on paper as they were in the pan. They dry very chalky, they dry very pale, they're very transparent, and with watercolours I'm pretty sure is that it's supposed to have a certain amount of opacity that you can blend out to blend out the values until it's very, very pale and transparent, and I didn't get that with these paints. They, like I said, they are cheap paints, but I'm pretty sure it's mostly fillers and binders, but the colour isn't very strong. The only colours I found that were pretty much like they were in the pan was the blue, the cerulean blue, the purple and the red. Everything else was pretty much meh. I'm going to keep trying out watercolour paints. I'm going to try different brands. I'm going to set up different pans. I'm going to compare them, the colours, the textures, the same names. Some paints have the same names, but they look wildly different. I'm going to explore all of that. I'm going to, check for light fastness. I always put up my swatch sheets on my wall so I know what paints I have. I know what they look like through different light throughout the day. Test for light fastness and whether or not the colours fade over time, and whether or not being exposed to light for so long changes how they look on the page. I expect these guys are not light fast because they are not even a student quality paint, they're craft paint. I label my swatch sheets so I know what each colour is. And I'm going to keep exploring this new medium I really enjoy now. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, engage with our videos, help us please the algorithm overlords, and we will see you next time.